In this video, we're going to talk about the 5 things you'll be hit with once you make the big move to Mobile or Baldwin County. And it's my job to make sure you're prepared. I'm standing here in Medal of Honor Park, and all the locals, well, we just call it Cottage Hill Park because of the location and proximity to Cottage Hill Road. But it's out here in West Mobile, and I wanted to start this video by showing you something that's an absolutely beautiful area out in West Mobile. You know, we've got a dog park right behind me, we've got baseball fields, soccer fields, we've got tennis courts, we've got this amazing park for kids, we've got a splash pad, and all of this is right here in the city of Mobile, Alabama. My name is Jeff Jones with Keller Williams. Hey, this is where I've lived my entire life, and one of my favorite things, well, it's when people reach out to me. They call the number on the screen, shoot me an email, text message, any way they want to reach out because they've got questions about what it's like moving to Lower Alabama, whether it's Baldwin County or Mobile County, and they've just got questions in general about making the big move on what it's going to really be like. So reach out to me, I can't wait to hear from you. But also keep in mind, if you'll click the link below, we'll send you a free city guide put out by the Chamber of Commerce, and that's going to cover a ton of details from the economy, you know, the healthcare, all types of things related to actually living in Mobile. But the reason I'm starting here, you know, this is a beautiful place. The weather, it's like 80 degrees. You know, here we are in April. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I wanted to talk about some things that you need to be prepared for once you make the big move. And we're going to talk about 5 things. And let me tell you, the last one, it's an absolute must. And all the locals, well, they're going to know you're new to town if you do not master number 5. So let's dive in. The first thing that you have to be prepared for when making the big move, it's definitely the climate. Now, I've already made a video about how Mobile is actually the rainiest city in the entire United States, so definitely check that out. But this has more, you know, to do with the climate, and that's one of the reasons why people love it here, is it's warm, you know, they don't have to worry about the snow. The problem is some people, well, they think it's a little too warm, and in the summer, it can be very hot. In fact, if we were riding around in the month of August, I rolled down my window, you could hear a constant hum of all the air conditioners running consistently. In fact, my air conditioner, and if it cuts off, if it cuts on like at 9 o'clock in the morning, it may run all day long and not cut off till 5 or 6 at night. And the power bill, if you had a 2,000 square foot house, your power bill is likely going to be north of $300, maybe even touching $400, depending on some factors. And that has to do with the efficiency of your unit. It has to do with insulation, what type of windows you have. All those things matter. You know, this particular neighborhood, this is called Sugar Creek out in West Mobile. It's in the city of Mobile. It's just off of Hillcrest and Grelot. It's a very popular neighborhood, you can see, but these houses were built in the late 70s, early 80s, and some of them, well, they still have original windows. So those would be single pane windows, and then others have made upgrades with double pane windows. So these are just a few things you have to keep in mind when thinking about moving here and how that's going to be, or how it's going to have an impact on your power bill. So as long as there are no surprises, well, then you'll move here and you'll expect it. But I just want to make sure you understand the climate and the heat in the summer is a big deal. So number 2 that you have to be prepared for, it is definitely the traffic. And what I will say is many of you, that's why you're moving here, because you want less traffic. You might come from an area like Chicago or Atlanta, Georgia, where the traffic is crazy. But here, the traffic is usually pretty mild. I actually made a video about the traffic. You can check that out as well. But keep in mind with traffic in Mobile is it usually flows pretty smoothly. Now, what I will say is around school time in the morning, it can be a little hectic. And then of course, you know, 4:30 to 6 o'clock in the afternoons, certain roads can be very congested. Right now, I am on Hillcrest Road in West Mobile, and I have to tell you, if you can avoid this road between 4:40 and 6 o'clock, you will be doing yourself a favor because it is crazy backed up around Hillcrest and Grelot. But there aren't that many crazy roads in Mobile that have a ton of traffic. But understand this, I would say that most areas can be reached within 30 minutes in Mobile. And that's whether you're way out in West Mobile going to downtown or whether you're in Sims heading down to Theodore. The traffic in Mobile overall is not bad. So if you're coming from out of town with crazy traffic, you will rest assured that the traffic, well, for you, it's going to be great in Mobile. And number 3, you have to be prepared for how you're going to maintain your home. And I got to tell you, it's going to be very, very different from where you came from if you came from an area that snows a lot. It rarely snows in Mobile, so you don't have to worry about winterizing your house. I will tell you, it's very, very rare that you have to do any preparation. The only thing that really happens is every now and then, the Weather Channel freaks out. They're like, oh my gosh, there's a cold snap. Bring in the pets, bring in the senior adults, and go out and put the little cap over your faucets outside and maybe drip the water. That's it. And if you'll notice, we're on Hillcrest Road. We're going slow in traffic. That's because we're getting closer to rush hour. Okay, back to maintaining the home. What I will tell you is the area is just very different. So there's no winterizing, but where we're going to have extremes are with lawn maintenance. So I don't actually cut my grass because I'm allergic to grass. So I have to hire a lawn company. And honestly, it is very common to start cutting grass late February and go all the way until like the end of October, maybe the beginning of November. And so, maybe once a month in February, then it gets into twice a month, but sometimes in June, July, August, September, you might have to cut your yard 3 times a month. So keep that in mind. That is an expense that you need to prepare for in hiring a yard company if you don't do it yourself. If you do it yourself, hey, just knock it out, but know it's going to be very, very hot. And the other thing I want to talk about that is with regard to lawn maintenance and cutting the grass and so forth. You're going to see that we have a lot of pine trees. Of course, we have beautiful oak trees, but if you have pine trees, you know what you're going to be doing? You're going to be raking those pine needles, and that can take up a huge amount of time, but it's one of the things that makes our area so beautiful. It's the green. It's absolutely everywhere. I forgot to mention another thing that goes hand in hand, with cutting grass and all that is pollen can be crazy in this area. And so you can imagine that you walk out to your car and it's pollen season, your allergies are going crazy, and there's this light dusting of yellow all over your car. So then you're gonna have to get your car washed, or, well, you can wash it yourself. But just know that pollen is a very big deal. And also, if you'll notice, well, we're still on Hillcrest and we're stuck in traffic again. The 4th thing that you have to be prepared for is definitely the food, but it's not just the food, it's the fried food. So I'm sitting here at Craver's out in West Mobile. There are 2 locations, one in West Mobile and one on the Eastern Shore. It's a local seafood place and I absolutely love it. But let me just read a few items on the menu. We've got fried pickles, onion rings, which of course are fried. We've got fried green tomatoes, and then of course we've got fried shrimp, fried oysters, fried catfish. So many things are fried. Now, can you get it baked or steamed? Yeah, you can order that, but just know, a lot of the places you're gonna go down here in the deep south, well, it's gonna be deep fried. So keep that in mind. That's one of the great parts about living here. Hey, I love fried seafood, so if you like it, you're gonna absolutely love it down here. The 5th thing, and let me stress to you, it is very, very important in preparing to move down here, is that you have to know the language. And I'm standing here in front of Foosackly's, which is one of my favorite chicken finger places in all of Mobile. And let's start with that. That is actually Foosackly's. That's Foosackly's. I made an entire video about pronunciations, and the reason I did that is because it's very important. So think about the word Mobile. It's not Mobile. A lot of people from up north, you got folks from Chicago, that are saying Mobile. But the emphasis is on the second half. It's Mobile. So Mobile, and also think about, some other roads. You've got Schillinger, you've got Grilot, not Grillo, as Siri might pronounce it. But think about this in making plans to come here. You're gonna need to understand how to say it so that the locals, they won't be talking behind your back. They're not from around here. But if you say it the right way, then you'll fit right in. So I like to say that I'm a relocation specialist, and that's helping you relocate from anywhere around the country, coming to Mobile so that you'll fit in, and then you'll be able to truly live like a local. So think about the pronunciation, the way you pronounce things and say your y'alls, and that's very important. So focus on that, take a little time to invest in it. I know you'll get it. And that's it. Those are the 5 things that you absolutely have to be prepared for when making the big move to Mobile, whether it's Mobile County or Baldwin County. You have to be prepared for those things. Now, the reason I'm standing here in front of Yellowhammer, well, I want to say that this represents so much about Mobile and Baldwin County in general. You see, Yellowhammer, they're a local coffee company, and they've invested so much in this area. They've got multiple locations, and this particular location, well, it's not quite finished yet, but I have a feeling that by the time you get here, when you've made that big decision, that this coffee shop will be finished, and you and I, well, we'll be able to go in and have a cup of coffee together. It's an incredible place, and I absolutely love what they are doing. Now, don't forget, like and subscribe, because each week we're dropping a brand new video about all the things about Mobile, and honestly, my job is to shine a light on the city of Mobile and the surrounding area so that you will understand what makes it so special. So like and subscribe so you'll get notifications of when we drop that video, but don't forget to click the link below where you can get a free copy of the city guide put out by the Chamber of Commerce so you can learn more than you could ever imagine about this beautiful place that I like to call home. But call the number on the screen, shoot me a text message or an email so I can look down at my phone, see a number I don't recognize, and then we can have a conversation and I can help you make the big move down south to Lower Alabama, this place that I like to call paradise.